This week on TGC News, new stuff from Walther and Pachmayr, Fightlite news, new stuff from Walther and Pachmayr, Fightlite goes tiny, and more gundustry shakeups. Rand CLP offers an entire lineup of non-toxic cleaners and lubes for the discerning shooter. You can use their bore and bolt to clean up carbon, fouling, or rust, and then follow it up with their CLP, or for hot and heavy applications, the hog grease, for before, during, and after the range. Find out what the nano-infused bio-friendly lineup from Rand CLP is all about over at randclp.com. Welcome back to another episode of TGC News, the only gun news show that covers things you actually care about. My name is Jon Patton. It is the last week to enter the ongoing Neomag giveaway where you could win a Neomag shirt and an actual Neomag. Our winner from last week is Katie Willis. Congrats, Katie, and if you guys out there want to enter to win, hit that link down in the description. It's super easy and it's free. Now, the news. Let's kick things off with some new products. First up, Walther is expanding the PPQ lineup with the addition of the Q4 TAC model. Long story short, this thing comes with a 4.6-inch barrel that comes threaded from the factory, as well as an optic mounting plate pre-cut into the top of the slide. They've also included a fiber optic front sight and adjustable rear. And the thing that I find most interesting about this gun is the inclusion of two recoil springs, one for unsuppressed shooting and one for suppressed shooting. Suppressor enthusiasts will know that some guns just do not like to run well with a silencer hanging out on the end of the muzzle, and sometimes the solution for that problem is getting a new recoil spring. Walther is ahead of you on that one. Other than that, it's a fairly standard PPQ M2. The MSRP on that gun is $799. Next up is a Pachmayr grip for your small revolver. Stick with me, this is pretty neat. One of the biggest complaints about small carry guns is often the fact that people with larger hands and sausage fingers can't fit their pinky on the grip. This new Guardian grip seeks to put an end to that. Long story shorter, the grip has an extension that gets released when you grip the gun and hit a switch under the trigger guard. It springs out of the bottom and allows you to get a full grip on the gun without compromising comfort or size when carrying. I would worry about like lint and dust piling up inside that mechanism, but if you take care of the gun and regularly practice, it really shouldn't be an issue. Retail on the Guardian grip is $49.98, so about $50, and it's currently available for the Ruger LCR and Smith & Wesson J-frames. I gotta admit, it's one of those why didn't I think of that type products. The Pachmayr brand has been around for ages, so I'm sure it's going to be good quality as well. What do you guys think? If you carry a small gun, would you add something like this? You know, some guys with Glocks add that Pierce grip extension. This is along those same lines. Sound off in the comments with your thoughts below. And the Gundustry struggle bus keeps on rolling news. Remington has named a new CEO, and I will describe it like this. If Remington is a ship with a hole in it and it's starting to sink, and that hole is made up of poor quality and lack of innovation, well, this is like trying to seal that hole with a dump truck full of lead. I'm playing around a little bit, and I don't mean to be really mean, but the irony is really strong here. The new CEO of Remington is the former CEO of Taurus, Anthony Acitelli. Let that sink in. The guy in charge of the company that brought us such gems as the Curve and the Taurus View is now in charge of one of the most historic American gun companies. I'm not going to pretend like I'm some kind of expert on what it takes to run a company that big. I will say, though, that I hope he doesn't bring over any cheap nonsense from his former brand, and I hope that he can find a way to correct the path that Remington has been on for the last few years. Time will tell on that. And because of that move from Taurus to Remington, Taurus has named their new CEO. The now former CFO, David Blanker, has stepped into the position of leading the brand. He's been with Taurus for 27 years, and 20 of those were as CFO. I hope that he's able to bring Taurus into new light. Sure, the brand has grown over the years, but they've also put out a bunch of junk along the way. I'd love to see Taurus go toe-to-toe with another affordable brand like Ruger, but that's going to take some work. Let's hope that both of these companies take this as an opportunity to shine. And now, the silliest new product that is actually somewhat innovative from a company that makes belt-fed uppers for AR-15s. Say hello to the Fightlite Raider. Essentially, they've taken their SCR platform and shortened the crap out of it. It's got a 7.5-inch barrel in either 5.56 or 300 blackout, attached to a fairly standard AR upper, and a customized pistol grip attached to their SCR type lower. It's basically like a rifle version of the Shockwave and TAC-14 that we've seen in shotgun format. The SCR lower has the trigger set back in a position that's closer to traditional shotguns and rifles, and I believe this was originally done to get around BS state laws regarding adjustable stocks. Either way, the thing that really drew me in here is the way they got this to work. They took a very old idea from semi-auto shotguns and utilized it on the back of an AR-15 bolt carrier that's kind of been chopped in half. You see that bar unit on the back? That goes down into the tube that is inside the pistol grip, and that's where your recoil spring is located. Honestly, it's a really neat way to accomplish the goal of making everything smaller and changing the orientation. I'm sure this thing is also super lightweight because it doesn't have a lot of the traditional parts that you would normally find on a standard AR. The only thing that I'm not sold on is the fact that I can't see a practical use for this, but hey, I'm a Desert Eagle owner, so my opinion on that topic needs to be taken with a really small grain of salt. They are a tad bit pricey at $869 MSRP, but for a product that doesn't use off-the-shelf type parts, I understand why it's priced that way. What do you guys think? Would you ever own one of these pistols? LaserMax offers some of the most rugged aiming assist devices around. With a low profile option such as their guide rod lasers, you can keep that factory look or even add a tack light without taking up rail space with the laser. Combining over 25 years of experience with modern materials and technology, these things are built to last. Available in red, infrared, and green for many popular handguns. To learn more, head over to lasermax.com. You know, it's time for more friendly fire questions. First up, Chad Gray asks, what are the top 3 gunsmith tools that every shooter needs to have? That is a great question. I'm actually going to put links in the description for these things because I think this is really important. You need a good set of punches. You need a good screwdriver set. The one that Wheeler makes with like 80 to 90 pieces is fantastic for fitting all kinds of different screws. And finally, you need a good torque wrench for mounting optics and one for torquing down barrel nuts on ARs. That's not exactly 3, but that's a good place to start. And again, there are links in the description so you can see what I'm talking about. Next up, Andrew Bellapersh asked for my thoughts on the $200 kind of budget red dot optics from companies like Vortex and Holosun and some others. I think some of them are actually pretty nice for what most guys need. It's also a great way to get started with an AR and not spend a ton of cash. In years past, that type of thing was looked at as junk, but the quality has really come up in recent years. I've tried some really high-end stuff out there, and there's a slight difference between the budget stuff when it comes to optical clarity and build quality and things of that nature, but for $200, the value is solid. My question to you guys this week, what gun company do you respect the most right now? Let me know down in the comments below, and if you have a question you want answered right here on TGC News, you can send it to me via the Friendly Fire page on theguncollective.com. And that is it for this week's show, guys. You know what to do if you enjoyed the show. Hit that like button and share it around with your friends. That's a massive help. If you didn't, let me know why down in the comments. And if you haven't yet, please get subscribed. You won't want to miss a single week of the show. And as always, thank you all for watching. We'll see you soon. The shirts worn in today's video on The Gun Collective have been provided by Patriot Patch. Closed captions have also been brought to you by Patriot Patch Company. Be sure to click the link in the video description to check out all of their great products, including their cleaning mats.